Hello and welcome to the Cameo Show. I'm your host, Cameo, and we are, of course, joined by my husband and co host, Greg Braun. And I know he has a banger dad joke for us today, but we will circle back to you, Greg. I'm too
Okay.
excited to introduce our guest today. I don't even know where to begin. It's a huge stack. She is a keynote speaker, she is an improv trained powerhouse, she is a best selling author. She is a creative mind and she is behind the Holliverse. Welcome to the show, Judi Holler.
Holla.
Woo!
I feel like we have to start with a holla. You know how good it feels to say that and do that? Because for so long I've been wanting to, but it's been lying dormant. And I think we can unpack that today. Like this like corporate masking, this like conditioning, these sort of limiting beliefs that hold us back from really like being and doing and living and becoming and creating like everything we want in this world. So we can unpack that, but holla, let's go.
Holla. I have been
Welcome.
so excited to say welcome to the show, Judi Holler, for like, I can't even tell you how long. So this is such an honor. And, I forgot to mention that you're not just a best-selling author, you are getting ready to release your second book. So we're going to get there. I don't want to cut Greg out though. Greg, I know this dad joke you are so excited to share because
Oh, I'm so
it
excited.
screams Judi. It screams
Yeah,
Judi.
Judy. So what do Santa's elves listen to while they're working?
Oh, you better tell me it's holiday music.
Rap.
Oh,
Rap music.
oh my God. But holiday music? Come on. Get out of here, both of you.
My
That's
brain was kind of
so
thinking that is
perfect.
so good. He's going to say straight up holiday music, rap, even better.
So
Okay, that
perfect.
is a mic drop. So now you have two jokes in one. Like
That's
that
Oh
is
my
right.
so
God.
good.
Oh
Amazing
man.
job. You're both hired. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hired comedy writer. Somebody call us. Call
Oh,
us.
I
We
love
got you.
it.
Improv at its finest. So,
Yes.
Judi, let's jump right in though to the new book, Holler at Your Dreams, dangerously inspiring ideas for the wildly dope soul. We've got to start there. Where did the title come from?
Okay. I feel like we have to tell this story first because it almost didn't happen. Like this book almost did not become what she is. And it was almost titled something else. And I think it's a powerful story for us to start with and a powerful place for us to go. Because for me, it was, we all have those. We've all got them. Good and bad, the life altering moments, the flashpoints, the bathroom floor moment, the rock bottom moment, the moment where we sort of are, where we have to like face self. And I know y'all get it, right?
Mhm.
So
Mm.
this was one of many for me, and it's a recent one, and it happened in March. So what happens when you achieve a level of success? There's something no one tells you. The money grabbers start coming around,
Mm.
right? So you got these people that see you, they want a piece of the action, and they got the thing, baby. If you just
Mm.
write me the check, if you just hire me, if you just scale or build the funnel or get the system or go with this process, this is what everybody else is doing. And if you really want to get to this level, if you really want to be on that stage, if you really want to be on this list, if you really want to make that $1 million, follow me, hold my hand, I'll take you with me. Right now, this doesn't mean that we don't bring people in from the outside, of course. Right? We're going to have to
Right.
get help and support along the way, but maybe we never do that to the detriment of our own power and our own algorithm. So I get to a place, money grabbers start coming around, and I get really confused. I stop listening to myself. I to be frank, lose myself deeply, soulfully. And I sort of begin this journey of self-discovery back home to myself. More on that in a minute. But it was like a 3-4 year process where I started slipping away from myself. Money grabbers come in. I start getting confused, but I have this deep pull and this deep intuitive hit to wake up this verb I was born with. Like I was born with the last name Holler, and like, they call it the download. For all my spiritual babies out there, you get that like download, right? That like hit. And it happened with my first book, Fears of My Homeboy. Like I knew the minute, like it was like from somewhere bigger than me, right? And I was like, that's it. That's the vibe. That's the movement. And I knew so intuitively. And I was like, green at that time. I didn't know anything. I had no following. Oh, the bliss of being a beginner, right? You just don't know any better. You just go and you move and you do. So the same thing was happening with Holler, and most specifically, this concept of hollering at dreams to really help people figure out how to come back home to themselves so they can build a life and career that feels like theirs. So I launched this concept to the world, Holler at Your Dreams. We go live on the website and the socials and all the things. And this was like 2.5 years ago, and it kind of falls flat, like low key, like crickets a little bit. And the speaker bureau world, like I'm a pro speaker. That's how I make my living, and spend a lot of time giving corporate keynotes. I come from corporate America. I've got some corporate PTSD, and so a lot of these, and that's another thing to write down in the margins. We could talk about that too. But so I start making phone calls to these third parties, these people outside of me, bureaus, managers, agents. And I'm like, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Oh my God, what do I do? And I'm collecting all this advice. I'm asking for all of these opinions. And one woman, out of critique, not care, says to me, she goes, "Oh, holler at your dreams." She goes, "That's cute." Cute, first of all. And then she goes, "How's that working out for you? Are you busy?" Now, at the time, I wasn't as busy as I wanted to be. I had sort of hit a bit of a brick wall because I don't think people knew, because I didn't know what it was becoming. So the market didn't understand how to. So instead of being patient and letting it breathe and be and become, I panicked. I didn't hire that woman. I end up bringing on this brand manager to fix me. And she looks at me and she goes, "I got it. Here's what we're going to do. No one's going to ever understand Holler at Your Dreams. No one's going to get it. People in corporate America don't need people doing that. We need results. We need action. We need ROI, right? We need EBITDA. We need bottom line. So you're going to be the be the verb girl. That's what it's going to be. We're going to rebrand. We're going to fix you, and you're going to be the be the verb girl." Now, okay, cute. I love the pun. Fun. Inside, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to be the verb girl. So we rebrand the website. We retitle the keynote. We change the cover of the book and the title of the book, and everything goes forward into be the verb. However, I'm not sleeping at night. I'm irritable. I'm sick. I'm not making decisions. I'm fighting with my husband. I'm snapping at my best friends. I feel like I'm slowly dying inside. I am having no fun on stage as a keynote speaker. I've lost like 1.5 years worth of tape. I look at that girl on stage. I'm like, who's that? Who dat? Who dat? Can't use it. I'm a shell of myself. And I could not, most acutely, coming back to April of this year, make a decision on the cover of this book, my forthcoming book called Holler at Your Dreams. I couldn't make a decision on the cover, and I'm pissing a bunch of people off, and I am wasting a lot of time, money, and energy. I'm having no fun. I'm snapping. All these things are happening, and push comes to shove. It's like, okay, this book is coming out on 9/9, which I wanted that date, 9/9/2025. Add 2025 together. That's the number 999, the divine number of endings and new beginnings. I needed that date soulfully. It was so intuitive. It had to come out on that date. So I had to make a decision. But I couldn't. So push comes to shove. I've got 48 hours to call it. And I've got these 3 be the verb covers I'm looking at. And I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know why. We always wake up in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m, like the witching hour. Super weird. Anyway, so I get up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my God. I cannot make a decision on this cover, not because of the cover, not because of the design, but because I am literally painting my life's canvas with somebody else's brush here, because be the verb ain't mine. I'm having no fun on stage because it ain't mine. I cannot make a decision on the cover of this book because it ain't mine. And what I've now come to know to be true, and what I'm telling on keynote stages, this is the keynote and the big aha moment. If something doesn't belong to you, it will not stay with you, and you will not want to stay with it. So maybe for you, it's not a brand or a title or a book or a catchphrase. Maybe for you, it is a version of success that no longer fits. Maybe for you, it is, like, this is why there's like tension in a friendship that used to feel like home. Like you'll stand in your closet, you've got like a closet full of clothes, and you're like, I have nothing to wear. You know, this is why you have a big title and a ton of followers and a shitload of money, and you literally feel like you're dying inside. Right?
Mhm.
It's because it's probably you're out of alignment, and something you're doing isn't actually yours because you don't want to stay, and it doesn't want to stay with you. So I called my power back. I let go of that whole team. I call my graphic designer in tears because she's ride or die. She's in the Holliverse. And I go, G, we're blowing it up, and we're gonna redesign this book cover. And I gave her the vision I had for the cover. She brought it to life, and I said, baby, we're building Holler at Your Dreams. We're taking she's crying, I'm crying. We're like Jerry Maguire with the fish tank. You know, she's like, I'm going, you're going, let's go, baby. Right?
Yes.
So I got rid of all of that, and I said, fuck it, baby. Like, this is it. Like, we're gonna holler at dreams all day long. And this isn't about being loud, it's about being realer. And what does that look like for you? And if I am not doing that for myself, like, I feel like that's the divine assignment. That's why I've been put on this planet, and that's why I've been given that verb to
Mhm.
help people use it and be it and become it. And that's the essence of Holler at Your Dreams. But she almost didn't happen. So I knew that I wanted to write a book that was an unbook. I knew that attention spans and just the way my brain was healing. I went on this journey of self-discovery, and I put it all into this book. And so I divided the book up into sections, and we've got these 4 sections: pain, peace, and we can break this down. But the cliff notes is, pain, peace, presence, paradigm. We have to move through all of it. And then inside of the book are 365 original ideas, poetry, art, personal development, prose, just all kinds of dope stuff to help you come back home to yourself. So that's the story of the book. It was almost supposed to be called Be the Verb. And how sad. Like, I just get goosebumps thinking about how close I came to missing a dream. To missing, the manifestation of what I believe my life's calling is, That's a
There's
long
holla.
story to answer your question.
Holla.
Yeah.
Holler. Here's the deal. That is why I love you so much. That is why I have almost clung to everything that you have said over the years. And honestly, now that you share that story, and thank you for sharing it, I can kind of remember that time and remember when you kind of went radio silent and when you lost that edge and that energy that you bring. And it's back, it's been back. But the fact that you keep it so real is what draws me personally into you, because in a world full of fake, especially on social media, in a world full of how can I be like the next person? How do I curate my feed to look like what somebody else is doing that's having success? It makes me nauseous, and you're a breath of fresh air. And that explanation completely seals the deal of why you reference this book as an oracle, a freaking oracle, so people can feel brave and bold and inspired to tune in and tap in to their own creative nature that we filter out of ourselves. We completely erase it.
Yes. And what you may need today is different what you're going to need tomorrow. And we're all in different spaces and places. So maybe today, I love this. I don't know if I have this thing I do in my office with all my books. I have my most beloved books around me here in my office. And if I'm creatively tapped, uninspired, sad, depressed, dark, stuck, needing to have a tough conversation, like I'm like very spiritual. I love to play games with the universe. I think this is a really beautiful way to move through life. It is the improv mindset. We are open. We are windows, not walls. We are victors and victresses, not victims, right? So I love being open. I'm like, ooh, let me catch a sign. Like, I'm stuck. Let me go grab. So I go to my books and I just say a little prayer, ask for what I need. I pull one off the shelf, I open it up, and I let where my eyes land be the answer, be the maybe content inspiration. Steal this idea, by the way, be what I need to write about, talk about, be about, do about that day. And so I'm like, ooh, what if I made that book? Like, so, and we'll do it at the end of the show. We're gonna pull from the oracle of Holler at Your Dreams before we go, just to see full circle maybe what we need to hear today and maybe what's for us. but I wanted to write something that's got a heartbeat, that's got an energy. It's not meant to be on a book. It's meant to be on a nightstand, a coffee table. It's meant to be like a creative companion, right? It's
Yeah.
meant to be like soul food. So like if you need to know what to do, what to say, what to be, what the answer is, you could ask it a question and get the answer. And I thought that was a really fun way to do a book. And so each page is an idea, an article. So it's like bite size. You can read it front to back, but yes, and to all of that, because we're always going to be like this concept of living as a self-expressionist and hollering at our dreams and being fully expressed, which is where the future is going, is what it's all about. And I wanted to sort of figure out how to provide some sort of long-term solution to the lifelong pursuit of like growth and change and reinvention. Because maybe today you were like, I am present. I know who I am. Let's go. But then all of a sudden shit pops off and you're like, oh, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
And I need to go back and take care of that so that I can come back home.
Absolutely.
It all works together, and then you'll never shift into the next dimension paradigm. You'll never transcend and get even wilder and weirder if you don't know who the fuck you are.
That's right.
So sometimes we lose so it's this journey of like, ooh, where am I today? To your point, Cameo, what do I need today? And ooh, could this be a fun tool and a creative companion to help me think differently about today?
Love it. Can we break down the sections? I love where you're going with that, with regard to what you need, being what you need when you open it, and how your book has the different sections of pain, peace, and what kind of led you to put them in that layout and in that order.
I wish I could tell you I had some sort of like really beautiful strategic deep dive with a PhD in writing, and we decided that we're gonna break. No, it was like, yo, like for real. It came to me in, it's the first time I'm saying this out loud because I'm starting to do press for the book. It came to me in a dream. It really, these 4 sections came to me in a dream. I knew I needed, I had so much, my gosh, I've been writing my whole life. I'm a poet, even to be able to say I'm a motivational poet. I've always been a writer, and I've been hiding all of that because I thought, oh my God, like people are gonna be like, what a joke. You do poetry, spoken word, come on, another poet. Like it's just so weird, right? And so I kind of hid it, but I had all these ideas and these little sound bites of self-discovery and things I've sort of done and have learned to be true and now know to be true, and have sort of walked through to like bring me back home to self and help me shift into new paradigms. But I didn't know how to organize it, but I knew I needed to organize it somehow, because it wasn't going to be like chapter 1. And I knew it had to be like picture. Like I knew there had to be art and vibrant and color, and I wanted it to be a little bit like my brain, right? And so, yeah, I was like, well, what have I walked through over the last 4 years? Started with dark ass shit. Right? Had to go through some pain and really look at some stuff I didn't want to, that I had been ignoring. So the pain, we start with the pain. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. And then the peace becomes, so now we heal it. You got to heal it. So first you got to feel it, and then you got to heal it. You start to find this like dope little thing we call inner peace that I always thought was like some sort of joke. And then you're like, oh, yo, maybe this is flow. Yo, is this surrender? Is this what people mean? Like, maybe I don't have to hold on so tight. And like, look at, like, even if you're just listening right now, like if you want to know what surrender feels like, someone once told me, put your hand in a fist and squeeze it really hard for 30 seconds. And if you got nails, it hurts, right? Just squeeze really hard, really hard. Now your fingers are aching, your palms are sweaty. It's kind of like uncomfortable at this point. Like we are holding on, baby. It's hard. And now in about 2 seconds, just hang on 2 more seconds. Now let it go. Open your hands. That's surrender. You feel like a different tingling. Look at, things can land in your hand. Someone could actually grab your hand and bring you somewhere. I have goosebumps as I say this. Like it's you're still in action. You're still in movement. There's still energy, but now we're open. Who could help? What do I need? What could come in here? What can I now feel, because I'm not so closed up and guarded, right? And so peace is about learning the beauty of surrender and letting go and like feeling it. And then we go into presence. We move through the pain. We've cleaned up our shit. We are starting to feel into our feelings instead of numbing our feelings and drowning our feelings and bullshitting our feelings away. Now we can go like, okay, well, who am I? Who the fuck am I? Because everybody's telling me to keep it real. What is real for me? Ooh, I think I might have found out because I've been on this little journey for myself, and maybe all that pain is power. So let's go even bigger into that. We start to become, now we be it. So if it's feel it, right? Heal it. Presence is be it. And then paradigm is transcend it. Because once you understand who you are, you become unstoppable because you are an original. You're an OG in the world. You're doing things to your own rhythm, and you're not so bothered by everybody else. You're kind of on your own divine assignment, and you just sort of get yourself to where you want to go faster and weirder and cooler and more you, which is always going to make you an original. And so transcendence becomes the evolution of this. But sometimes when we're transcending, it's going to hurt because we're going to get to new levels, and then there's new devils. So now we go back and revisit pain so we can feel it and come back home to ourselves and go even bigger, right? So it becomes this like process of like, it's like they all work together. That's the essence of the 4 sections. And
wow.
yeah.
I love that. You said that it came to you in a dream.
I love Greg's face right now. He's like,
Oh
I
man,
feel like
I'm ready
you're
to run through a
speaking to his
wall.
heart. Yeah.
You really are. I mean, it's just like everything you're saying. I'm like, yep.
We're having this moment around here. Like, we want to get a little weird with it. We want to get a little wild with it. We are
my God, please
musicians and
do.
artists at our core. And so that's what we want to spend our time doing. And I feel like building a business and writing a book and doing all the things that I've done, and this isn't about me, but just to relate, is that I've kind of shrunk into what should I be doing? And I wrote a book about getting rid of the shoulds. So why am I sitting here in the shoulds and trying to figure out what I need to do next, instead of coming home to myself and saying, what do you love to do? You love to perform. You love to play music with your husband. And your book came to you in a dream. How serendipitous. And the title is perfect. And the fact that you can pick up that book and at any time, no matter what you're feeling, read something, see something, feel something that's going to feel completely different than it may have the first time you picked it up and looked through it. It isn't chapter 1, chapter 2. It's where am I and what do I need, is absolutely the cycle of dope that you bring to the world. Like, I just can't even wait to get my hands on this book, because it's going to change people's lives in a way that I'm not even sure people recognize as available to them. Do you know what I mean? So like, when you had this moment of like, fuck that, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I'm not going to do what everybody else wants me to do. It's not me. Where did you find the courage to like stand up for yourself? Where did you find the ability to say, sorry, everybody, you're all fired. We're going in a different direction, you know, because people can't often do that. We get stuck.
Thank God for the pain. Because a tolerance for pain is a really powerful skill to build. And I'm not talking like pain, like ouch. Well, sometimes ouch, right? But a tolerance for pain, like other people's opinions and self-doubt and procrastination and perfectionism and imposter syndrome and offending someone, and am I, overthinking and self-sabotage, all these ways fear shows up. Like, being able to look at that, see it, acknowledge it, and put it in a box and say, nope, we're moving anyway, is a powerful skill to build. Like, you gotta you have to have a tolerance for pain. Like rejection, awesome. Okay, we're in the lab. This one hurt. I get rejected all the time, right? But good. You know, my girlfriend has a daughter in college right now, and we just literally had, this will go out of my newsletter on Friday. Her daughter did not get into the sorority she wanted. Well, she got cut. They're in Rushing right now. She got cut. And so she sends me a screenshot of the text with her and her daughter. And she's like, see, Mom, this is why I don't have friends. And this is why I've never had a boyfriend. I don't do rejection. And I said, oh, baby, like, it broke my heart, first of all, because we've all been there. Like, when you're 18, you know, you don't know shit about shit. Well, first of all, most adults, none of us know shit about shit, to be honest.
Right.
And anybody who tells you they know shit about shit is lying.
They're
We're
lying.
all just figuring
right.
it out. Like, I have some ideas, take it or leave it, right? But like, at the end of the day, nobody knows shit about shit. Let's be clear. There is no, beware false gods. But so I wanted to like hug her, of course, first of all, because I feel the pain. It's like, acknowledge the pain. And I told her, I said, like, if building a tolerance for rejection is going to be a critical skill for that girl to understand and to learn it
Mhm.
quick. Because if she wants to, it is going to be nearly impossible to be joyful and successful and happy in life without it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
right.
so good, be rejected, fail, get it wrong, look cringe, embarrass yourself. So I guess my answer to your question is, you know, I'm staring down the barrel of 50, although that makes it sound really dark. I'm not scared to get older. I feel grateful for that. But I also think with age comes a confidence and a wisdom and a low tolerance for bullshit. And most importantly, I was tired of my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, now's the time. Now's the time. And I had enough wisdom and enough street cred and enough evidence in myself. Like, I'm like, what, I
Yes.
have built all this. Why would I ever allow anyone? No. And to be frank, it was like leaping. Like, I mean, I knew I had a net. The net was evidence. The fact that I'm living proof. I know I can do hard things and live to talk about it. And I have a tolerance for pain. And okay, I can always go 10 bar. Like, I'm not going to be homeless. Like, I will figure this out if this like really doesn't work. The regret, I could not let the regret be louder than the realness I was feeling in my heart, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it was it was like the perfect storm a little bit: age, wisdom, time, and a
Mm-hmm.
tolerance for pain. I have like I just have really reset my relationship with rejection and failure and cringe and upsetting people. And I think I have to go even harder there, because corporate Barbie had been playing it a little too safe for too long,
Mm.
for fear. And I think if you're for everyone, you're for no one. And I think one of the big conversations I'm really interested in right now is this notion of inclusivity, because I don't know if everything should be for everyone.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It just
I
makes
think,
everything vanilla, right? I mean, it just
what a
completely
sad
flatlines
world.
everybody. Right.
What a sad world. Like, I don't want everyone to be for me. But if you
Right.
are
Mm-hmm.
for me and I am for you, come on in, and you are going to feel
Mm-hmm.
the most included you've ever felt. But I think we're living, and this is where I think the creative revolution and sort of the creatives on the front line helping people feel more safe in their self-expression. That's really what I'm here to do: create safety of self-expression inside of corporate structures and sort of outside, so people feel safe to self-express. We can create environments of self-expression, and we can feel courageous enough in ourselves to be fully expressed, and then of course keep the self-expression itself safe. But I think we're afraid to do that because it's a scary world out there. You know, people are
Mhm.
sort of being like from the cancel culture to the public stoning of one person making a mistake. And oh my god, you know, let's talk about, I mean, the whole astronomer thing, the guy who got caught on
Oh,
the
yeah.
camera. I was so upset about, I physically was sick for like a week, because last time I checked, who I've made a bazillion mistakes. I have
Right.
fucked up, and it doesn't mean anything was right or wrong, but the public stoning, the
Oh,
way
my
we take
God.
people down, the way we destroy over one fucking, like, okay, I'd love to see you in your little glass house. Like, we are like on camera like, it's like you feel like no one's safe, you know, and
Right.
now the AI is making people say things. And I just felt so the intuitive and the lover that I am and the creative that I am, decision aside and mistake aside and bad choice aside, I don't feel like that's right. And I feel like whether it's something like that or a creative who says the wrong word or posts something that, you know, a word in their book, or it's just like we live in this world where people are afraid of their own shadow. And now we've silenced so many beautiful people because it can be, the mistakes can be so public and so scary. And so, you know, again, I'm not trying to say, I think, but I also think we don't know people's stories, and shame on us for I don't know. I just, the world is very fast to like hate
I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
and
I
to
actually said the
stone.
same thing
Mm-hmm.
to Greg when all of that was going on. I'm like, I'm so disappointed in humanity in this moment
Same.
because you can't even like just, I'm not saying that what was done was okay, but
Right.
what I am saying is it's not anybody's fucking business.
It's
Leave
not anybody's
everybody
fucking
alone.
business.
Yeah. So we got put up on the thing. Well, who's the person that was videoing that in the first place? So I feel you because I think you're right. We're creating this environment where people tiptoe around, they sand off their edges, they're afraid to be a little weird with it because somebody's going to call them out for being weird. And I don't want to be like everybody else. And thank you for not being like everybody else and for standing by what you know to be true to self. And thank you for, is it Self Expression Sunday?
Yes, it's a slow movement we're building. Like, you know, you just got to let it ride. But I have felt this deep calling to like create I'm like, it has to be on a Sunday, you know, it's a soulful day. It's a day, even if you film it earlier in the week and you schedule it to go live on Sunday. However, but it's like, how do I create a movement around? Because I needed the accountability of like, am I showing up enough? Me to camera, me authentically, me sharing my poetry, me sharing my art, me sharing on stage, whatever it is I want to do that week. Am I playing your music, whatever it is? Like maybe that's your game you guys play. If there's something you want to pull out of the closet, what if we could create a sacred day, like a self-expression Sunday, where we make a public commitment to sharing our art? The art is you. Remember, I believe you're the art. You don't need a frame to be a masterpiece. You're the art. So whatever that is, maybe it's what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're eating, what your favorite thing of the week was, a conference you attended. Maybe it's your actual art. It's you spitting bars, it's you sharing your poetry, it's you playing acoustic, it's you in the kitchen cooking your favorite recipe. Like it just helps us. It's like my fear experiments from Fear is my homeboy Cambio. It's like, you know, I really believe if you're not experimenting with your fear every day on purpose, you'll never stay brave. You got to build the muscles. Same with creativity, same with self-expression, same with confidence, right? Like if you want to build all that, you have to go where you have none on purpose. So I kind of built the movement selfishly. So I had like an anchor every week to be like, okay, shit. And also to be able to feel safe, to know I got people watching and they know why I'm doing it. So they'll jump in and cheer. And then I can do the same for them. So if someone's scared to like post the thing that they sold on their shop, like I'm going to hit them up with a comment, and better yet, share that creator on my stories, because I've got a nice following, you know, not that it's about that, but you know, like, oh my God, maybe they could open a door and somebody could see their work and it changes something for them, you know? So that's the essence of the movement, to sort of go along with it, with the ideas in the book, that you'll never get in this life what you're not brave enough to holler at. So if you want something, go get it, right? And just start playing with it. Like you don't have to, the path will reveal itself. You got to let the art tell you. I mean, you guys are musicians, which I'd love to hear a little bit more about. I know this isn't my podcast, but we might need to unpack that because I'm like geeking out over it. But I think you guys are artists and musicians, you know, and you know, you probably, if you sit down and write any original work, I mean, I'll sit down with an idea for a poem or a concept or a story in verse, and it'll begin one way and become something totally different.
100%.
And so you kind of got to like, same with Homeboy. Like when I put my first book out, I was like, oh, here's how it's good. This is what's good. And the community, the movement, it told me, it was like, nope, this is what it's going to be. So I think we, you know, at some point, the artist, the creator, you are the art, we have to come out from behind the screen. The painter has to get out from behind the canvas, and we have to ship, go, launch, send, do, whatever, sing, rap, like ask for the business. Like at some point we have to like go. And I feel like I'm right, and I'm in the going. I've been building for 5 years this Holliverse, this world, and Self-Expression Sunday is one of the ways I'm going. And of course, this book launch coming up will be a big go. And the leading up to it, revealing sort of like the world that lives in my head wrapped inside the Holliverse. But at some point, I had to get out from behind the screen. Like I'm sitting here creating this world in my head for 5 years. I've been 4.5 years. I've been sitting in this office, like little, like, what are the, like, I feel like a little witch doctor, but a good witch doctor. Like, oh, I've got all these ideas if they only knew. And at some point, like, okay, well, what if something happens? And I remember telling my husband like a year ago, I was like, if shit goes down with me, here's the passwords. Here's the document. This book has to get out into the world. Like, do not let this die with me. You know what I mean? I was so close. Like the manuscript was done. I just needed, so I got into all my stuff. So he knew if anything happened, I'm like, call this person, you get them to publish it, use that money you make on my death and go get this book out into the world, baby. Like, you know, the Holler at Your Dreams was coming. But you see, at some point we have to go.
Yeah.
You know, at some point I had to leave the safety net of this office. I had to like and you know what? There's gonna be people that don't like it and don't like me and call me a fake and a fraud and a and a phony because I like the M dash. And it's, you know, people are gonna, you know, I mean, like when did the M dash become, like, why did the AI take our M dash? I have loved I don't know if you guys know what an M dash is.
I love an M dash, and now I find myself trying to not use it because I'm like, I don't need anyone to judge me based on my M dash usage.
So
What's
the M
M
dash is
dash?
a dope, like really long, like bar,
Hyphen?
a punctuation bar in writing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like indicates a pause, and it's cooler and more aesthetically. And as an artist, like it's a little more aesthetically pleasing than a dot, dot, dot. But it kind of is like a dot, dot, dot. It's like a pause, but it's a beautiful dot, dot, dot. Well, now the AI has taken it, and everybody's saying, and it is true. You can kind of tell. Look for emojis. You can kind of start to see but is there personality? anyway, the AI, they're saying, content is AI generated when you see an M dash. And there's so many of us writers like,
Oh,
fuck you. Like another way to silence and scare the creatives from
yeah,
sharing their art. Fuck off. Because if I changed everything to a dot, 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 or removed them, they're still going to hate.
yeah.
That's right.
So
That
guess
is
what? I'm
right.
keeping my M dash. I love it. And so if anybody else is down for an M dash, holler at your girl. But anyway, these are the ways we're silenced, right? The fear, the like, you're going to be canceled. You're a fake. You're a fraud. You don't deserve all that bullshit that keeps us from really building a life that feels like ours, a career that really feels like ours. And I think that's the dreamiest of dreams for me. Not a million followers, not a gazillion dollars. Just, am I doing work I love the way I want with dope ass humans that rock? Like,
This is how I frame it. I'm everything you're saying, I'm just like, it's hitting me right here. I mean, I love the vibe. But I always ask myself and my friends and people when I'm having these deeper conversations, which I tend to have a lot of because I'm a weirdo and I love to go deep. Like,
no,
how
because
you
you're
doing?
amazing.
How you doing?
No.
How you been? Let's go deep. Like I just small talk is just a
Same,
waste of.
same. So keep going
Yeah.
on your thought, but I feel you on a soul level. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's so rare and so unique today. I love people that roll deep.
Well, and I guess the whole spirit of this is I ask myself this all the time and I ask others this all the time. What would you do if you didn't have to make money? Because in our society and our likes and followers and success and all these people that are doing it and they're so much bigger than me. But at the end of the day, what would you do if you woke up and you had all the resources you need to survive and there was no social media to compare myself to? What would I want to do? Would it be bird watching? Would it be grabbing my guitar? I know the answer for me, and I'm 47 and I've been whittling away at this puzzle. It's making music. Like my soul comes alive when I make music because I go back to my 14-year-old self. I'd get done with my school, my sports. I would run home to my 4-track recorder, grab my Ibanez guitar, and just play Metallica riffs until my dad would come in and be like, dude, you got to go to bed. And and it's just like that childlike energy. And our son's doing it right now. He plays music all day and comes home.
Nonstop.
And it's just like, no one forced this on him. He just has seen us I have 2 drum sets in our bedroom. That's how
In
cool
our
this woman
bedroom.
is.
No
That's how
shit.
cool
Drums
this
are
woman
my
is.
dream. I'm like Muppet, like the animal from Muppets was like the
Yeah.
best Muppet on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that when
Drums.
he played with Buddy Rich and they just
Oh
were,
my God, just
yeah.
iconic. I've always loved the
Yeah.
drums. My Uncle Jimmy was a drummer. He drummed with Prince.
Oh, no
Oh,
way. That's
really?
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Minnesota boy, like artist.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
So
Nice.
but interesting. So
Yeah.
what are we doing with that, Greg? What you're
Well,
only 47.
yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I reached a very high level at 24. I played at Madison Square Garden. We
Holy
opened for
shit. You've
Shakira.
played. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah. So we
okay.
were
So
on
you're an
tour.
artist. You're
I
in
went
it.
hard from I started playing in a bar when I was 12 with my mom, and
Okay.
I played in bands forever. But
Okay.
then at 24, completely broke and just
Yeah.
I was over it.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Cameo when we began our journey and
Yeah.
kids
Life
and you got to
changed.
make money and here we are today and we've got a mortgage company that's thriving in our community and we do the podcast. She just released the book. But then we have this extra time because our kids are at an age where they're kind of doing their own thing. We find ourselves with these big blocks of time. We're like, well, what do we want to do? And I think this is where the wheels come off in a
Ooh.
marriage. We've been, thank
Yeah.
God we've been working together on stuff, or else we look at each other and be like, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
And
This is
so
so real, by the
we're
way.
like, yeah, I know. I feel like you're sitting here when we're having a coffee in the kitchen, but
I feel the same. Like I'm
yeah,
fascinated by this.
yeah.
Yes, it's so
But
real.
So Greg is back to himself, though, which I think is so beautiful and kind of right back into the cycle of what we were talking about. Like
The
for a
pain,
really
the peace,
long
the
time.
presence, the paradigm, the pain, the
Yes.
peace, the
I
presence.
had to go through the pain. I had to
Yeah.
go through the pain and I went to therapy. I went to EMDR therapy and I thought it was for
Wow.
something else, but she was like, you got to deal with these childhood things that you're
Oh yeah.
stuck. You're stuck.
Because it'll
And
come for you.
it'll come for it. And so you break your 4 things down. It's like I am living I know exactly what you're saying. I had to walk away from my corporate job that I was very comfortable with
Oh yeah.
comfortable. And then we moved to Florida and we worked for a little bank, and we worked for a bank, and we were comfortable working for a bank. And
Uh-huh.
then someone was like,
Safe.
"Hey, if
Safe.
you jump out on your own and do your own thing, you're losing so much here by not doing this on your own, and you can have complete control." Sorry, my cords flying everywhere. But it takes a lot of looking fear in the face and being like, I know the truth. And that's because you educate yourself and you go deep and you ask yourself daily, what would I do if I didn't have to make money? I mean, like that question right there. And
Yes.
it just forces you down this path of uncomfortable
Yes.
truths that you're just like, I know this is
I
right for
love it.
me, but I'm scared to not do it, kind of thing. But you just got to keep going, you know? And people
Keep
like you
going.
are the spirit guide to show me like there's light at the end of that tunnel that
Hell
I'm going
yeah.
to keep going for, you know? So
Yeah, you're the light in the tunnel, first
I
of
got
all.
chills.
Yeah, you're the light in the tunnel. I have chills too. I've had them multiple times on this podcast, which is really cool. Do you know not everybody gets chills? There's a name for it. It's called frisson.
Never knew that. No.
So I
I
wrote
can't
about
even
this in my newsletter.
imagine not
Frisson.
getting chills. Like,
Yeah, some people do not get them. And it's a very, if you get chills, it's a divine appointment. Like
Mm.
it's something to be celebrated, right? And especially when you get them in multiple spaces, pay attention to where you are when you get those. And I'm not talking about burr, I'm cold. I'm talking about like source spirit,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I love that. That means we're right where we're supposed to be. And then number two, what you're talking about, Greg, and I think this is a really important thing to understand about self-expression and any creative act, and it's required for Hollering at Dreams. You're talking about self-leadership
Mhm.
because no one's coming to do it for you, right? We hear this
Mhm.
all the time, ain't nobody coming, all this stuff, but do we really live into that? And so this is why pain and peace, like this is an important part, because who's going to sit down and like, you have to lead self. You cannot be a victim. Oh, the economy. Oh, the president. Oh, the mean bullies on like, oh, okay. There's going to be things that suck in life, and there are going to be things you're not happy with, and the economy will go up and down, and elections will come and go, and there are going to be things that are great, but we can't control any of that.
Mhm.
I am like, I cannot handle. If you were to ask me the one thing that pisses me off more is a victim. Give me
Yeah.
a
ugh,
victim
Holler.
and I just cannot. This doesn't mean I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but also like, listen, there are people that go through deep trauma.
Yeah.
I understand. And I have known those people. I know those people. My best friend lost her daughter.
Mhm.
I mean, come on. Can
Mm,
you
Mhm.
imagine a pain worse?
mm-mm.
One of the most joyful people I've ever met went on to have two kids. My husband lost my husband's mom. My mother-in-law, who's now passed, lost her oldest son, and she was never the same. She was
Mm.
horrible, a nightmare, really difficult to be around, sedentary, overweight. Oh, poor is me, a victim. Just could not get her life back together. And those two boys suffer the consequences of that because oh, mom's mad again. We have to slip cards over there. Oh, mom. Oh, walked on in. Could never make mom happy. My best friend Jody loses her oldest daughter, goes on to have two boys, but she tells me the story of, so when people are victims, I think of stories like this, and I'm like, if my girl Jody can get up and do that, I'm gonna be okay. But she said that there was a moment 3 months after Olivia had died where she was on the floor of her closet. And she, grief, if you've ever lost anyone, grief is waves. You move through it, and there will be a time where you feel like your breath is taken away. If you've ever lost, it's like it hits you and you just don't expect it. So she's like, I'm 3 months in, and of course I'm in the pain. She goes,
Mhm.
but it was like, I'm in my closet just getting ready for work. She was a teacher at the time. And she's like, a wave hit and I'm on the floor and I can't breathe. And, I'm bawling. And she goes, Adam walks into the closet and he picks her up and he gives her a hug. And he says, Jody, me too. He goes, however, we have a choice to make here. We have to make the decision to either move on and be the people who lost a daughter, or we can choose to be Olivia's parents and to
Mm,
move on as the people that had a daughter, not the people who lost one. And
mm,
I want you to come there with me. Let's go there, and we're gonna do it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. So she's like, we have a daughter. We are not the people who lost
Mhm.
a daughter. We have a daughter, and we live for her. And so when I talk about being a victim, I'm not trying to be asshole, but I'm also trying to be firm and direct because, we're all gonna have stuff. And my God, Joe, their lives. I mean, as much as she doesn't want, I mean, of course she would do anything to have Olivia back, but she's also kind of like, would I? Her
mm.
life is so like it was, she's a woman of faith. And she has
Mhm.
such a deep faith and a sense of something bigger and a support system. And whatever we need to call on, we call on that army of earth angels. We get what we need to get through the trauma. But she's
Mhm.
like, I probably wouldn't have my youngest, Isaac. We would have stopped it too. She
Mhm.
goes, you know, we would not have him. She goes, I would not have the relationship I now have with my husband. She goes, we would not be here in Indiana. She's like, I think of all the things, and she's in she is in every, look at, Olivia's here right now in this story, because there's someone, like, she lives on, you see? So
That's right.
she's in this story. Someone's going to hear this right now and go, oh shit, they're like, this is what I needed right here. Ooh, Olivia, thank you. She's here. And what a
That's
gift,
right.
it's a gift that keeps giving instead of the thing that holds us back. And that's how I look at being a victim. You know, you get more of what you spit. You know what I mean? So if you're spitting shit, you get more shit. And if you're spitting truth and you're spitting healing and you're spitting pain, and I'm holding on and I'm trying to heal, but I'm trying to focus to get to feeling as good as fast as I can as possible. But I'm not talking toxic positivity here, but we're reaching for the better feeling. Even if anger is better than depression, I'm still going to be angry instead of depressed, because it's still better than being depressed. I'm just like inching up that scale, you know, every day to get out of the lows and into the high. That is because you'll only get like the frequency you're on. Like, you'll only
That's
get,
right.
like, if you're shit and you think everything's shit, well, I bet you could look around your life and there's a lot of things that are shit because
That's
you're
right.
shit. Sorry for making this about shit, and you just created a shit sandwich. And maybe this is the shittiest podcast interview you've ever had, but
No, I love how real
get
you
the
are and how
point.
fresh, because
Victims.
it's so true. And I feel the same way. And I often feel, you know, kind of back to that speaking your truth. Like, I have to bite my tongue a little bit when I'm around people who behave that way, because I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. But at the same time, I don't have a tolerance for that. I think our kids would agree. They're like, hey, mom, let us feel our feelings. And I'm all for that. But also, you're the one that gets to decide how you move forward and how you view the world. And if you
Yes.
view it as you're being stuck, it's being done to
Yes.
you, that's how you're going to
It's so
feel
funny.
about everything.
You don't have a tolerance for the bullshit. People ask me, you know, that they always come around at the restaurant and they're like, and my husband's always like, really, again? And I'm like, I can't help myself. It's so good. I heard somebody say it once and I'm like, I'm saying that forever. So the servers will come around. So steal this idea. You're welcome. It's pretty good. So the servers will come around and be like, all right, like, welcome to the restaurant, everybody. Okay, can we get your, by the way, before I get into the menu, are there any allergies around the table? And I'm like, everybody's like, no allergies. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got one. And the server's always like, what? I'm like, bullshit. Like, the only thing I'm allergic to in this life is bullshit, like, literally. And then they like never know what to do with me. My husband's like, really? And I'm like, no, really. I'm like, just cilantro and bullshit. Is that okay? So I always pair it with cilantro. So I'm like, oh yeah, me, cilantro and bullshit. I'm like, but it's true. You have no tolerance for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, figure out what real is for you and go heal it. This isn't toxic positivity. And life's gonna be hard. None of us get out of this pain free. It's coming for all of us, right?
Yeah.
But we don't have to be victims to it. I just think it's fun to live life in a way that is a little gamified. Like, I'm always kind of looking for, I'm always asking for the things. And I think I live with my head on a swivel. And I think that's for the joy, for the good and not the bad. And I think that's how abundance finds you. And for 4 years, all this healing, I was not doing that. This is one of my favorite things about human design, is one of the things it reveals is how you know when you're out of alignment and how it actually physically shows up in your life. And for me, it was bitterness. It is bitterness. So when I am bitter, and bitter for me over the last 4 years, I say 2025 has been pretty good for me, but like 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, really, really 2024 was bad. It was like, well, easy for her, or must be nice, or jealousy, or envy, or that's not how. No, it must be nice. She's got a rich husband, or that's all this bullshit that I was never like that. You know what I mean? Like, or must be nice. I mean, she's her dad was in oil, of course. That whatever it is, like you're surrounded by all this wealth up here in Arizona, right? There's people up here. It's like crazy, right? And so instead of being like old Judi, like, show me everything.
Yes,
I want that. My mom used to clean houses, and I'd walk into these houses and I'd be like, I want a front porch with rocking chairs. Like, they have 3 Christmas trees. Like, it was like aspirational for me. I got to a place where I was like, fuck them and fuck you and fuck that and fuck money. You know what I mean? And like, and then, well, no wonder I'm broke. No wonder I'm dark. No wonder I'm struggling. No wonder no bookings are coming in. No wonder, because I'm literally blocking all of it with my bullshit.
Yes.
My own. I'm like, oh my God. It was like in the light. So whether it's whatever therapy you do, like whatever that work is you do on yourself, it's why it's so important, because I needed someone else to reflect to me outside of me what it was going to take for me to self-lead my way out of it. Because my husband couldn't fix that. My bestie ain't going to fix that. Like, no, like I got to fix that. Right. And I did. And it set me free. And then so, and it's not easy. And it's a journey of constantly revisiting it. And now I know when I'll feel a bitterness, something will happen. I'll be, ooh, there it is. Back it up. Yep. Ooh, awareness. What's going on here? What's going on? Something's off.
That's right.
It's like it's like a radar. I'm like, oop. Yeah. And I can stop it and I course correct it. Right.
I'm so with you on this. And I actually gamify. I love that. My thoughts. So even though I'm not saying the negative thing or the toxic thing or the envious thing, if I catch myself thinking it, I question that, because I've come to realize, like, I'm not the thoughts, I'm the thinking machine. Ooh. And I control these thoughts that come out of that thinking machine all day long. Not when I'm sleeping, that's just whatever happens. But like during the day when I'm awake, I own my thoughts. And when I'm with people, I own my speech. I mean, that's stoic wisdom that I've like,
good.
but it's so powerful. And it's if you can just get control of your tongue and your urges that are just like, you're so many of your problems go away, and it's that's what I love about stoicism is there's no fluff, no BS. It's just, here's the shit that you need to do if you want to have a happy life, and it's up to you to do it, and it's like, okay,
and it's up to you.
It's up to you.
Self-leadership, ownership, right? Oh, same. That's my rub. And that's how things happen. Yeah. I love that. It's so good.
And the pain and is the path, like when you're feeling the pain from something, you're like, that's what needs fixed in my life. I need, like in your situation, like you felt the pain and you felt so destroyed by it. And it was like, if you would have ignored that and pushed through it, it still wouldn't matter.
I'll read you what I write as I open the section, and then before we have to do an oracle reading, but here's what I write about the pain as we go into it. So there's this little that sets up pain, right? So I say, pain is the threshold between what was and what could be. It is the turbulence that shakes us loose from old ways of thinking, being, and believing. And yet we often resist it, treating discomfort like a stop sign instead of a portal. But pain is intelligence. It carries messages, directions, breakthroughs. It does not come to break you. It comes to wake you. So in this section, we meet our pain head on, not as an enemy, but as an invitation. We learn to decode its wisdom, honor its lessons, and move through it with faith instead of fear. We stop outsourcing our power to what the world expects and start trusting our own map, because this is where the shift begins. So it has to begin there. It's a portal. It's a portal. And it could take you, make you, or break you. You decide.
Yeah,
you decide. I often think that self-awareness can be a curse if left unchecked, because I get in my own head.
Put that on a quote card.
No doubt. I get in my head about like, well, to your point, when you were younger, look at this, it's so great. And then something shifted. Well, sometimes it's the awareness of other things around you that causes you to think differently. So I get in my head sometimes. But without awareness, you're also not paying attention to the little messages that come in through the universe, the things that tell you this doesn't feel right in my body. Like I'm literally the way that I feel, my responses and reactions.
It'll tell you.
That's right. If you're paying attention,
Yep. Oh
Judi,
my God.
I want to be respectful of your time. So I could sit here for like 6 hours and keep riffing with you.
So good.
Nonstop.
I need to get to Tampa. You guys are first on my list when I get to Tampa.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Please do. We would love it. Absolutely. It's anytime. You are absolutely welcome here anytime. And there is plenty of beautiful things to do here. And we can we can riff and play some music too. Because
Oh my God.
I know you are a singer. I know you are a
And Second
performer in
City.
there.
I wish I was, if I could, oh my God, if I could sing, I'd be Queen Herbie. Do you guys know who Queen Herbie is?
She
I
just
mean-
played here not too long ago, like
Oh,
last year.
she's on my list. I'm like, I will not turn 50. I have to go see her live. I missed most of the shows last year. She is a huge, motivational raptress, really, truly weird, wild, witchy rapper, artist, singer, creative energy being. She's just so cool, but her music opened me up to the genre of motivational hip hop and motivational rap and things like Chris and Teeb and Tony Jones. I mean, there's just so many rappers and poets and writers out there that have just really, there's this movement of like, because hip hop, if you really think about what you listen, as much as I am here, I mean, it is, I come from the 90s. Okay. So, and I'm born and raised in St. Louis, and music, anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s, I mean, the birth of hip hop, right? So we just, I grew up in an edgy neighborhood, and it was very diverse. And so I was listening to stuff I should not have been listening to at a very young age. And anyway, so I've always loved hip hop, but if you really think about the vibration of that music and some of the things that they're saying, I had to be careful with it because words are wands.
Yeah.
And what we take in, it's still music is Albert Einstein says music frequency will be the medicine of the future. And so I now do a lot of old school hip hop instrumental beats. I write to a lot of that stuff because I pull some of the words out because I don't want to like, give me some of this stuff is like a little wild. And, bitches ain't nothing but hoes and sluts. Hold on. Is that really
Is that the message here?
Yeah.
Like, I love you, Snoop, and I love you, Snoop, but maybe I'll just roll on the instrumental of that. But anyway, so there's this so when I found like inspirational hip hop, oh my God. And so I have this whole Spotify playlist. You should pull it, Cameo, for the show notes, the Holy Flow playlist. So it's got all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's some Eminem on there, but it's like Lose Yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some Prince, Baby I'm a Star. So there's some like a little collection of things that live in my brain that hype me up, some Pink, all of that. But there's this whole genre of like motivational, like rap and hip hop, and it changed my life. I'm like, this exists. And so that frequency was one of the tools, like therapy, I used to heal myself when I lost her over the last couple of years. And so Queen, I got to get to see her in a live show, but she's one of my muses. If I could really sing, I cannot sing, but I envy anyone who can in a good way.
Well, I love your playlist. I follow your playlist because
So
it's very fun, and I need to listen to it some more as I'm like getting ready, because it sets the tone. What you invite in is how you show up in the world, and that sets the stage. I got to ask you some rapid fire questions because I know that these answers are going to be bomb. So we'll start with some basic stuff like, what's in your coffee? You're drinking a coffee right now. What's your coffee order?
I am. So this is an iced coffee, and it is an espresso pod with some skim milk, actual dairy. There's dairy in here, you guys. With milk, and then cinnamon, and one half a packet of stevia, and then I just shake it and then put it in there. But if I'm drinking my morning coffee, I have two. My morning coffee has a scoop of protein powder in it because your girl's got to get that protein.
Add a girl.
Little scoop of the protein.
Perfect. Childhood scent. Yes, you got to put it in first.
A childhood scent, Electric Youth by Debbie Gibson. Come on.
Go on. Debbie Gibson is like my childhood spirit animal. I used to set up the camera and turn her on with a huge speaker with a microphone and play it like I thought I was Debbie Gibson.
Totally.
Done.
She followed me on Instagram and I fell out.
I was going to say, did you like panic or what?
I fell out. She followed me last year. It was like around the holiday season last year, and I opened my thing and I was like,
wow.
No. And then I shared it and I was like, oh my God, my teenage self would be dead right now. And actually, low key, my 48-year-old self was like also really dead, but you just never know how things are going to come around. But yeah, anyway, Electric Youth.
That's amazing. And you know what? Back to what Greg said and what you just said, if your 12 or 14-year-old self would be screaming about what's happening, you better keep doing that shit. You better keep it in the rotation. That's right.
Amen.
Morning person or night owl?
More of a night owl.
Yeah.
But I love mornings.
I'm the same way.
I don't want to go to be awake. Yeah. I don't want to go to sleep. And then I'm like ready for the morning to wake up as I'm going to sleep. I just,
me too.
I didn't have to sleep.
Probably like not an early morning person, but I do enjoy mornings. But I write in the mornings. I'm probably the most creative and most awake in the mornings, but then things will hit at night too. You know, I have pretty active dreams and stuff. So it just kind of depends on flow, but can I say both?
Both is fine. Both is valid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go-to karaoke song. Back to that
Oh
singing.
my God. Caribbean Queen by Billy Ocean.
Yeah.
Love it. Why? Why that one?
Because it is just a vibe. My mom cleaned houses, and my mom and dad loved R&B. And so when my mom would clean our house or any other house, she would always have her little boombox and be putting on the like R&B. So like Lionel Richie and Billy Ocean and like Luther Vandross and like all that stuff. So Caribbean Queen was one of my mom's favorites. And it just became a thing. And it's like no one sees it coming too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like people are like,
Yeah.
you know, the, like just the beginning of it. And then it's like, woo, she's simply awesome. She touched by me in painted on jeans. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like, and all heads turned because she was the queen. She had these. What did she have? Oh, electric eyes that you can't ignore. Come on. Let's go.
I didn't see this
Then she
coming.
had this, you know, this passion that burns you like never before. See what I'm saying? So I can add the little ad libs in there.
Caribbean Queen.
Yes.
My
I
God.
cannot get. Yeah. So
Oh my
This
God.
is the three of us together, and Judi,
I
I'm
know
sure your
it's too
husband is right
fun.
there.
We gotta
This
get
would be-
into the laboratory. We'll get into a little creative lab one day. We
That
gotta
was
figure that out.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, last one, easy one. Back to music. I was asked this recently on a podcast, and I blanked because I'm like, I don't know, but I think about it a lot because we're very into UFC. But a walkout song. You have a walkout song, probably.
Yes, I do, and it depends on the mood of like the audience.
Okay,
but
then we're not.
would
I want to know yours. Like
like
what's
my
yours?
soul.
Yeah.
So I would say, because everybody wants to play Holler Back Girl, and that's not really the vibe. Like, because it's like you know, I love Gwen Stefani, but people don't know what else to do. So I mean, if I'm walking out to anything, it's probably some old school. Like I love an old school like Run DMC. That's always a favorite for me. Sometimes it's instrumental Snoop and Dre. Like next episode's always a good one. Lately, it has been Vitamins by Queen Herbie. Like the main refrain of that one. And yeah, I mean, if I could hit a Beastie Boys moment, that's always fun. Nelly, I'm from St. Louis, so I have a lot, but like Nelly is always a fun one. It's just hard to find naughty, like non-naughty outtakes, you know? So kind of depending on where I'm at, I have like a little bag of tricks, but I think I always feel really good when I come on to like, lately I've been feeling really good coming out to Vibrant Thing by Q-Tip.
Oh yeah, that's a great beat.
Isn't that a good bop?
Oh,
And you just
that's a
feel
good
good.
one.
And it's like, oh, we're talking about being vibrant and vibrant.
Yeah.
And so that's been one that I'm like really into. And it's like, real good girl, pretty little, you know, and that just that whole beat. And so I'm backstage out here, come on. I'm like, ooh, that's fun. So that's been my vibe lately. Sorry, that's a long answer to the question. 20 songs, but
well, that's okay. I may as well have asked you what's your favorite song ever, and
that's so
that's
hard.
like the dumbest
Which
question
would be
ever.
too hard.
Yeah.
Depending on what mood I'm in, right?
That's right. Well,
yeah.
Judi, you have been such a bright light in my life over the last 5 years. Your indirect support by showing up in my feed, even behind the scenes when maybe you weren't feeling it, it still felt like you did to me.
Thank you.
I
receive it.
Kept me going on days when I wasn't sure. You've taught me how to embrace fear and find my own voice and to accept my pain as a gift to share with others so that they can accept their own. And I can't thank you enough for what you give to the world, to the universe, to the Holliverse, and for being here today, because this is an absolute honor. I have chills all over my body. If you could see them, they're like, my goodness. And I am just absolutely blown away by the fact that you're here. The nerves subsided. I was nervous when we started. I couldn't tell.
You guys are great. I mean, honestly, You might go
Thank
down in
you.
history. This didn't even feel like we were on a podcast episode. This was just so in flow and so in sync, and just the two
No
of you are
doubt.
really spectacular. And Cameo, congrats on the book. And
Thank
just,
you.
you two as humans, as artists, as parents, as people, as partners, like, keep going through it for all of us, because your wisdom, your stories, your realness on the other side of it is what the world needs now more than ever. So thank you for sharing me with your audience.
Yes, thank
This
you
was a lot
for
of fun.
blazing the trail. And please share where we can find more about you, the best place to find the most Judi,
Yeah.
and also order the book.
So the book is available now. You can buy it wherever you like buying books. Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can go to judiholler.com to learn more. There's, of course, a landing page for the book itself, holleratyourdreams.com. Find me on Instagram. But wherever you buy books, type in Holler at Your Dreams and you'll find the book. And we're wrapping the podcast at 11:11, which is pretty cool.
Perfect. Will
On my
you
end.
close us down with a page?
I'll close down with the page. Let's see where we land.
Perfect.
Okay, we're going to give it up. We're going to take it and we're just going to give it a spin. Ooh. So I opened to a piece. There's a piece on each page. One is a concept called Big Butts, but I'm going to read the poem, the piece on the page. So here's what we've got. It's a piece I wrote called If Only. If only. Regret never lingered. Second chances lasted forever. And there was no such thing as a last dance. If only days stretched longer, dogs lived as long as we do, and ice cream didn't melt so fast. If only hate was erased, anger faded like echoes, and love was all that remained. If only youth was infinite, aging was effortless, and we had more time. That's in the peace section as you start to make peace with where you're at. If only things we can change, things we can't change. Sort of a remembering when I wrote that of, be grateful for what you have. And there's things that suck. And God, I wish this ice cream wasn't going so fast. And my dog, I don't want to lose my dog, but God, there could be things that are so much worse, but also if only we had more time, which is a message to seize the moment and do it now.
Yeah.
Which is the essence of hollering at your dreams.
Love it. Thank you so much, Judi,
Yeah,
for
you're
being
so welcome.
here. We have new episodes every Wednesday. Please tune back into the Cameo Show. You can find us on Instagram or at my website, cameoelisebraun.com. Until next time.